What is going on, guys? I am Consumer Tech Review, and Discord, well, they made a keyboard, and today we're gonna figure out if it's any good. If you wanna check it out, there are links below, but let's jump into it. Okay, so firstly, what's in the box? First, you get a branded EVA keyboard carrying case. It's very, very nice. I really like the carrying case. And it's got that little Discord logo on it, which I like. Then you get the user manual, a classic Discord purple USB-C cable. Although for the price tag, I would have liked to see a coiled cable that they did show in some of their product pictures. 10 Discord themed novelties, which I love. A standard switch / keycap puller. And then finally, you get the Discord Kono 87 keyboard wrapped in some plastic. All right, but let's move on to the form factor and build quality. Now, the case is made out of a 2-piece plastic case. It's injection molded plastic. It's got a slight texture to it. It feels kind of good. Feels kind of different. It's a little bit weird. I don't know if I like it. It's kind of right there in the middle. As for flex, it flexes a little bit. It doesn't feel like the most substantial thing in your hand, but the fit and finish is good. For the plate, they're using a steel plate here, so the keyboard overall doesn't feel incredibly light, but it's obviously not gonna feel like a custom that's made of metal. Now on the back of the keyboard, there are 3 cable channels. This does use a detachable USB-C for connection, or you can go wireless. Dual stage risers, which is a nice touch, and you also get that switch for your Bluetooth, which is great. Although, one little hiccup here is Discord is for everyone, obviously, but when I use Discord, I use it only for gaming with my friends. And well, if I'm using a wireless keyboard, I'm gonna use it with a 2.4 gigahertz USB dongle to get the maximum amount or the highest polling rate possible. In Bluetooth, well, it doesn't allow a very high polling rate. So for gaming, this being wireless and then not having a 2.4 gigahertz USB dongle, seems a little bit weird. All right, but let's move on to the mounting style and dampening. Now, this is a tray mounted board, and from what I can see from the overall review process is this has an EVA piece between the plate and the PCB. That's the dampening. I don't know if there's any case dampening at this moment because, well, this keyboard, it's a clipped together case. So one piece and then this piece is a different piece, but I literally cannot get it apart without breaking it. And I don't wanna break it before we've shot all of the B-roll. So there'll be a shot right here of it opened that may be completely broken at this point because I do wanna know what is inside of this. And so what you're seeing right now is the dampening that is inside of this board. But overall, it doesn't sound incredibly hollow, but it also does not sound incredibly dampened. This is not something like a Keychron board, sounds incredibly dampened, but it's definitely not incredibly hollow. To me, do I think it needs more dampening? I don't know. I kind of like the tone of the board. Overall, I actually do really like it for what it is. All right, but let's move on to something I don't really like, but I kind of like, and that's the keycaps. So first of all, these are double shot PBT keycaps. They are in an OEM profile. It's fine, but come on, let's do cherry or something like that. The price point is $190. It's like OEM is fine if you're under that $100 price point. Okay. After that, does anyone want OEM over something like Cherry or something a little bit more interesting like XDA? Something like that. But OEM, really? I don't know. That's not my favorite. However, the colorway is great. You have the light and dark themes. That is awesome because it literally matches the Discord app. If it's light, you can have the light here. You can buy 2 of these and just switch between them for day and night. That would be kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie. The colorway is obviously the coolest part because it matches everything. Now, when you think ABS is a material versus PBT, you think 2 things. Number 1, it's cheap, or number 2, it's really expensive and they wanna get those printing inconsistencies down low, but they don't wanna use PBT. So that's what I think. Now, if I think $190 keyboard with ABS keycaps, I'm thinking, okay, these are gonna be nice keycaps, very little inconsistencies. That's not what's happening here. These feel about like $30 keycaps. And I don't mean that in a mean way because I still overall really like the keycaps because of that colorway. The lettering is very inconsistent. On my board, the G, the H, and the J goes from very bold to kind of mid, and then the J is incredibly thin. These are not inconsistencies like you would just look down and you'd be like, oh, I don't notice that. I look down and it shines out to me. Now, I do have OCD, so that might be part of it, but there's inconsistencies. Some of the letters are off a little bit, and then overall, they're pretty thin. They're a little bit higher pitch sounding. Now, regardless of that, this keyboard overall still sounds really good, but you think, okay, if I'm gonna spend $190 on a keyboard, maybe I have to replace the keycaps, but the keycaps are the biggest part of this because it's that Discord theme. So they do have that higher pitch sound that will come with thinner keycaps. Now, the other thing is each individual key, every single one has this printing inconsistency. They have that printing inconsistency probably where the injection went in on every single one of the backs. Every single one of them has this little dot on the back, which is fine because you're not gonna be looking at it, but it's something to note. Now, one more con before we talk about what I actually like about them is the RGB. Because they're thin, it kind of shines through. And these are not shine through keycaps, so you can kind of see a glow more with blue tones, tones that are, the RGB is a little bit brighter. Red tones, you're not gonna see anything. It's not too bad. It's not the worst that I've seen, but you will get that. On full brightness, you will get some like shine through of the keycaps, which personally, I do not like that. However, if you leave the RGB off, these are cool enough looking where you won't need it. Okay, now what do I like about them? They do have a slight texture to them, or maybe it's more than slight. It almost is sandpapery, but it doesn't feel aggressive, and I like that. For typing, very nice. I enjoy that. I like basically all the textures and smooth. I don't know if I felt this quite like this. This is an interesting texture, and I really do like it. So that part of it I do like. I think I would enjoy typing on this, and the overall keycaps do feel good, but the sound is something from those keycaps directly. The sound directly from the keycaps, but the board overall I think sounds good. But I do want to say, you're definitely paying for the Discord name here, which is not a bad thing because you get to support Discord and you get that theme with Discord, so that may be worth it to you. But it may not be worth it if you're not a big Discord fan or you don't use it all the time. Okay, now switches, hot swap ability, and hot swap direction. For the switches, you have a choice between Gateron Reds, Browns, or Kale Box Whites. There we go. That's what you get. Now the switches come pre-lubed from the factory. They seem pretty dang similar to like Gateron G Pro switches that will come with your Keychron keyboards. So if you get Keychron pre-builts that are like the K series, the K8, stuff like that, or the K8 Pro, this feels almost identical to that. You know, they're nice and smooth out of the factory. They're not gonna be an enthusiast thing, so you're not gonna have like, it doesn't feel like hand lubing. It doesn't quite sound like hand lubing, but it's definitely better than not having loop switches at all. That being said, this is fully hot swappable with 3 and 5 pin switches. So if you do want to swap some other switches in here, go for it. You can do that very easily. No south facing LEDs, you do get north facing LEDs here. Okay, let's move on to stabilizers. We're gonna talk about them overall and also, well, the tuning. Now these are rattly. They're not incredibly rattly, and some of them sound okay and pretty good. And they do seem like overall good stabilizers. They are plate mounted, they're not screw-ins. However, well, they aren't tuned. That's it, they aren't tuned. The wire is greased, but none of it is lubed. So you're not having any lube on the housing, you're not having any lube on the stem, none of that, just the stem. That's something that we would see in like Red Dragon keyboards back in like 2019, or very budget keyboards back in 2020, but before the whole keyboard craze. So at this point, it's a little bit behind and a little bit weird, honestly. That being said, I do think these could sound very good if you did a little bit of retuning, which wouldn't be too hard because there's no lube on the stem and the housing. So I don't mind that. And the EVA foam between the plate and the PCB allows for all stabilizers to come out without taking the board apart, which again is important because I said it's really difficult to get apart and I feel like I'm going to break it. This is not, I repeat this is the biggest point. This is not a keyboard that you want to mod. This is probably going to break if you try to take it apart. I'll update it right here if I don't think that after opening this up and showing you guys the inside of this. So I'll update that right here. But if not, if there's nothing here, I stand by my current point or opinion. Moving on to the typing sound and the feel. Now this doesn't feel and sound awful despite having the cheaper keycaps. I like the feel of the keycaps. The sound is good. It's surprisingly good considering the keycaps mainly. The keycaps do bring it down, but they don't destroy the sound at all. And one of the mods that I would do to this, again, it would be hard to do this because of how difficult this is to get open, but PE foam would make this keyboard, it just lacks a little bit of substantialness. I want it to feel and sound a little bit more substantial. So to do that, PE foam, I mean, I'm a PE foam guy, okay? Don't come at me. I like doing it. It's an easy mod to make your keyboard sound a ton better, especially cheaper plastic boards. But this one, you put some PE foam in it, it would probably sound great. But this specifically, the third from the top, this row, because it's obviously tray mounted, so you're gonna have a pretty significant difference by row, but this row sounds really good. Then other rows sound a little bit worse, like That one still sounds good, but that's just tray mounting for you. So overall, typing sound and feel for your average person that just loves Discord, is not a keyboard enthusiast, but wants a nice keyboard, they probably would be very happy with this, except those stabilizers. It's surprising how good the stabilizers are without having any lube on them. So that's what leads me to believe that these stabilizers are probably gonna be very good when they're lubed. So that would probably be a really easy fix. I have a tutorial on how to do that. There's plenty of other people that have showed you how to lube stabilizers. Not that difficult, right? Not that difficult. Go ahead and do it. I wouldn't say that would be a deal breaker at all for this. All right, but let's move on to RGB. The RGB is nice. It's pretty much RGB, north-facing LEDs. It's per key, you got static colors, you got a bunch of different modes. It's bright enough where it shines through these keycaps, even though they're not shine through keycaps. It's very easy to control. You hold FN, insert, delete. Backspace is to turn them off. Delete, I think, changes the different static colors. Insert, FN insert will change the different modes, and then FN up arrow and down arrow will turn up and down the brightness, and I'm sure that the left and right will probably do the speed. That's what I think it does. That's what I remember it doing. However, I might be wrong about that one. The other ones I'm certain about. So the RGB is RGB. It's great. It's what you would expect from an RGB keyboard. All right, but let's move on to battery, connectivity, and software. Now, we weren't able to figure out any software for this. There's like not a whole lot about this board, so I don't know. If you guys know, comment below, we'll pin it. Okay, but for Bluetooth, it says Bluetooth 5.0. It can pair up to 3 different devices, and it's got a 2000 milliamp hour battery. That's not a massive battery. It's not a tiny battery, but for $190, I would like to see one spot where they really were like, this is special. And overall, I really do like it because it's Discord and it is special. The case does feel nice, it does feel premium, but like they just don't feel as nice as something like ACO would do. Their boards, they're plastic boards that are similar to this, 2-piece design. They just feel a little bit better made. And they're probably about half the price, I would say, of this, if not a little bit more. You're getting better switches, you're getting better keycaps by quite a bit. So for this, you're definitely paying for the Discord name, which is not necessarily a bad thing. If you love Discord, go for it. Okay, but price and value, this is where we're gonna talk about it. $190. Like we said, you're paying for the Discord name and brand. Probably, I would say probably 70 bucks is going straight to Discord. That's what it feels like. It feels like this is like, maybe not. This feels like about 100 bucks. This is about $100 keyboard. That's what I would say. $100 keyboard still, even at 100 bucks when you have ACO and Keychron, because Keychron does much better keycaps than this, I would say. These are a step below Keychron's, and then ACO has like the best keycaps at that price point, probably across the board. And then you have certain things like the Melitrix Zoom 65 was great, and I think that was like $140. That's a metal case, and it comes with some nice keycaps. You're paying for the name here. However, if you really like Discord and you're not afraid to do a little bit of tuning to your stabilizers, this is the board for you. It's hard to compare this because this is a Discord board. But overall, this is not a keyboard I would want to mod. And you guys know, I mod some questionable keyboards. I've modded a ton of budget keyboards that were never really meant to be modded. Red Dragon keyboards, it didn't have full hot swap ability. And this keyboard would probably be the keyboard that I would want to mod the least. Unless by some miracle I open it up and it's easy as heck. But yeah, do I think this is worth it? Yes. If you absolutely love Discord and you can't find this colorway anywhere else and you just want a keyboard that you can use, I do want to say this, the stabilizers, if you like that, done. Don't worry about it. If you like Discord, that's what it is. However, I would say if it's just about buying a keyboard, I would look at ACO or Keychron in a much lower price point. If you are in this $200 price point, go with a custom. That's what I would recommend. But if you love Discord, again, this is the board. I don't know how many times I'm gonna go back and forth and say this, but yes. Again, if you wanna check it out, links below. Video will be coming out midweek for all the subscribers. A different one, like I said, I'm doing different non-keyboard related content midweek. Every Sunday, we're doing keyboard related content. This is the Discord keyboard. You are awesome. I'm glad that you watched until the end of the video. I'm glad it was this enjoyable. All right, leave a comment below if you're here right now and tell me if you had $190 left over somewhere, you found it sitting in your dresser like drawer, and you just like, this isn't my $190. I want to go spend this. Would you buy this? Comment below. Yes, I would spend $190 on this. No, I wouldn't spend $190 that you found. Would you buy it just as an extra keyboard? Would you do it? Comment that below. All right, this was Consumer Tech Review, and I'll see you guys in the next video.